Hi, Jen Gilchrist here, your spiritual guide and soul success alignment mentor. I'm super excited to be here with an episode of the Soulful Snippet here on my Facebook business page on Fridays at noon Pacific time to just share a piece of wisdom, something around spirituality, aligning with purpose, creating the life and business that you desire that wants to come through and be shared. And today's little nugget of wisdom I want to talk about was all about how to really step into your next level identity now. I think this is a really important topic, something that is relevant at any time, but especially right now as we are completing a series of 3 solar eclipses in a row. This is a powerful, important information to really help you capitalize on this energy and make the most of this. But again, it's really anytime you're in transition or up-leveling, this important, or these 5 steps that I'm going to share will support you. So say hello as you're hopping on, whether you're live or on the replay. And if you have any questions along the way, happy to share. At the end, I have a free resource to support you to take this information deeper, as well as another invitation for those of you who are ready for some support in up-leveling your life and business. So let's see, the first bit about this is just realizing that as we grow and change, and I know the people that follow me are consciously growing and changing on your spiritual path and really desire to live a life that's feeling aligned and fulfilling and often, expressing through their businesses, their purpose work. This is really powerful time. You know that what we've just been through has triggered and shot up all of these different patterns and limitations for us, which may have been rather intense for some of us. Especially in July, I feel a little lightness. Hey, Susan, this month, but definitely it's like an incubator of like showing us and shining the light on all the areas that are not really aligned with our highest potential, our destiny, the opportunity that's available to you, or what it is that you're even asking, right? Anytime you ask for something more, you've begun a creation process that requires a level of inner and energetic growth, right? Personality, like mindset stuff, as well as the energetic growth. And then of course, taking new action that supports that. And so this is a really powerful time to do that inquiry. So the first step is really, being really aware and clear. What has been showing up for you loud and clear? Is it in health? Is it in business? Is it a certain communication glitch? Is it something from the past? Like, how can we just look at this information that's actually here to support you in taking your next steps, right? Even if it feels uncomfortable. And of course, we need to take care of ourselves and do the inner work around that, but just really being aware of that and doing that inner guidance work. And then from there, it's important that we look at now how, what's changed, what's still aligned for us in our life, business. I suggest looking at all the different areas, your personal life, your relationships, your money space, your health, your spiritual connection space, all the main areas. So personal, business, spiritual, and you may want to actually even look at your money space as a separate thing, perhaps if that's part of your specific growth, or a love relationship, if that's a specific growth, so just looking at what is still aligned and working for you and what is not. What is your bigger vision, right? We have to really be willing to look at what it is that we want now, because sometimes our goals have changed and we have to look at what's wanting to be released, like what's showing up for us this past 6 weeks that we know we have to let go of, whether it's a habit or a pattern or a mindset or a fear or, something's going on. I'm sure you're pretty aware of what it is, right? And so really being willing to release that and do that inner work, that's kind of clearing the slate, which is the first step of the creation process, really, right? Is letting go and making room. And then really taking the time to, the second step actually would be taking time to look at each of those areas. What is my bigger, longer term vision? These eclipses are really setting us up for these bigger goals. And so taking the time to investigate or journal or meditate or contemplate what it is you actually desire in each of these areas. Because it may have grown and shifted. What used to satisfy your soul and fill you up and nourish you may no longer be what's currently what your desires are. They may have shifted, but sometimes we forget to check in with our business or our personal life or our health habits or even the style of eating we're doing. So many different things may have used to work for us, and there may not even be anything wrong, right, with it per se, except for that it's just no longer aligned with taking you to that next level. And so looking at the different areas, and also a good reason to look at this stuff, because it's really sending out seeds of desire tomorrow, right? The Lion's Gate portal opened, which is, an abundance, moving forward, energy support that started on the 8th, right? A couple days ago. I think Wednesday maybe, but then tomorrow's the new moons, right? So it's taking that time to contemplate that today, tomorrow, and really setting those intentions that are now aligned with that next level and getting clear on what those things are to you is super important. I think it's great to look at the longer term vision, and then you also want to make sure that, because sometimes we set these intentions out there in all these different areas and we realize that they're not really cohesive with one another. So you want to make sure that you're not asking for one thing in your business life, but for more, I don't know, you just want to make sure that they cohesively work together and not against each other, if that makes sense. So like one way is maybe you're making the intention that you want to have, an extra day's worth of clients, but then you also want more time, to work less to be with your kids or your family or something. Now that can all still happen and be aligned where you're making the money, but it might not be that you want to take a whole other day of clients. Maybe you just need to up level your pricing, right? And work less so that you have more time but still make more money, right? So there's different things that sometimes we don't realize we're controlling the how of the process, and then they can really work against each other to where we're not setting ourselves up for success in all of the areas, right? So that's important. Let it go. Exactly. And thank you for saying that, because when I was looking today, this card, how intuitive you are, right? Let it go was one of the inspirations that I was looking at. Well, what messages want to come through? And I was meditating and I pulled that Kuan Yin card, let it go. And so that's a huge first step. So spending that time like burning some letters, having forgiveness, really evaluating your environment, your people, your friendships, your habits, your mindsets. What needs to go? Like what's not aligned with this next level vision, right? And is that next level vision still aligned with what it used to be? Or am I just assuming it's the same it's been? Because sometimes we'll start working towards a goal, right? That maybe used to be aligned, and then all of a sudden it's getting arduous or hard, or we end up receiving it and we realize we're not really satisfied with it. And it's because we haven't allowed our goals and our businesses and our desires, our clarity around our desires, to actually shift and be aligned with who we are now, right? And so really, this is important work, and it's a great time to do it with all this powerful supportive energy. What deck is that? It's the Ascended Masters deck by Doreen Virtue. And so, yeah, that was a really beautiful hello and a great, reminder, and basically what started this whole live to begin with. So the second thing is, you're getting clear on the areas of your life. Now, the third thing, this is a huge manifesting tip. When I work with people and I go deeper with them individually, we look at their unique manifesting blueprint in the Akashic Records, because we're all a little different, but I'm going to give you something with a tip that I think that works for everyone. And that is, an important key is to start to distill down. When you pick a particular goal that you want, or your next level identity, you have to really start to believe and be and become and take action and vibrate. You have to shift your mental space around how you see yourself already being that person, right? You have to shift your mindset and how you see yourself. And then you have to also shift yourself energetically. And then those things will start to shift the actions that you take as well. So it's like you're raising your vibration to become it so that it can come in, not the other way around. And so one thing you can do is start to get clear on what is it that you actually, so say you want to be, a speaker or a best-selling author, right? Or you want to make $10,000 a month in your business, or whatever one of the next level goals is, right? And you see yourself and you kind of spend some time with that vision, but what is that actually, distill it down to what's the feeling you really desire behind it? Like what's the experience you really want to have? Is it that you want to feel, what is it that you actually want to feel? Like for money, for me, it gives me freedom to do what I want to do, to travel with my daughter, to give to charitable causes if I want to help friends in need, or support a particular, like building schools or something like that that's near to my heart. And so the money, yes, the $10,000 goal is good to know, to have as a goal is fine, but what's underneath it? Like, what is that money really giving you that you're not experiencing now? And for me, it has a lot to do with freedom of my choice of how I spend my time and energy in what I do in life. It feels much more freedom. And I'm making my decisions from alignment, not out of my bank account, right? And so for me, it's freedom. But for some people, maybe it's time. Maybe you really want to hire, a personal chef or a personal trainer or somebody to support around the house. Like, so for you, having more money, what you would do with it might actually be desiring to create more time, right? And so we all have different things. And perhaps I think it's important to also look at the feeling space too. Like, what do you actually want to feel? And then a tip is really to start, how can you start to take action to fulfill those things right now? Like, what baby steps can you take that's in the direction of that, that's fulfilling that vibrational desire now, that feeling of freedom, right? For instance, for me, one of the things was, man, I would love, like, personal chef is on my list one day because I would love to eat healthy, but I just don't like cooking all the time and prep and all that stuff, right? So that would be ideal. But if that's not in the cards yet, right? So then what could be? Well, maybe I do one of those where they order, or they send the healthy food that's already prepared and ready to go basically for you twice a week. Right? That could be something that feels like, wow, on my longer days and I don't have to deal with thinking about going to the store and doing dinner, like that feels like a sense of freedom, like I'm buying a piece of my freedom back, right? So that could be a step that starts to go in the direction of what it is I want to create. And so it's really important because that really helps to help you believe, help you to see that your next level identity, and also help you to start embodying that energy frequency now by giving yourself what it is you think that or want from that experience. Now you're filling that desire, and then you're a vibrational match to receive more things that bring more freedom, right? When you start giving yourself more freedom now, and you start to validate the freedom now, and you start taking actions to give to yourself now in that way, instead of waiting till the money comes or waiting until whatever that thing is, because otherwise it just always stays ahead of you, right? So you've got to start embodying that frequency now. So what is the core thing, the experience and feelings that you want to have from that bigger next level vision of yourself that you see? And how can you start fulfilling that need now? It's a really important tip and a really powerful one. And the next thing is really, I'm looking at my notes just to make sure. So now it's kind of combined, like getting clear on what that is, but then also beginning to take action from that space now. So you have to start taking the action to do it. You can't just think about it. And then the day 5 or the 5th key around this is that I wanted to share is it really is the daily habits. It's the daily reminding yourself. You have to see yourself. You have to shift your own vision of yourself as being that next level identity now. You have to see yourself as the leader. You have to see yourself as having the words to be the best-selling author, like knowing that that is who you are now. It's within you. And then you need to start taking action from that space, right? So how can you start doing the daily mindset deprogramming, the daily clearing out, the daily like recognizing the triggers that are coming up and handling it so that you can clear the pathway and raise that frequency. And so you can begin to have the drive and motivation to be taking action from that new space. And then people will start to see you differently. When you see yourself differently, people will see you differently. And so it's really all in our game, guys. But then we also do have to take those actions. And so I wanted to give you those 5 like kind of steps that I think are helpful and important during any transition of up leveling, right? But especially right now with this new moon eclipse, doing something to really get clear on those things and using the energy that's here for you to help you is going to be very, very powerful. Now, a free thing that I have to offer for those of you that might need some support with some of the resistances and the fears, and maybe you've already done this with me, or maybe you intended to and didn't, or perhaps it's brand new, but I have a freebie opt-in that's a great way that has tips every day called Awaken Break Free. So if you'd like that free opt-in, to give you it was a 5-day challenge that I did, but sometimes even if we've done it, it's great. It's a great time to do it again because we're reevaluating, we're looking at the resistances and the fears, and we're deprogramming them. So there's a lot of healing and really empowerment tools within the Awake. Actually, I think, well, I don't know if it's 3 or 5 days, but it's a few days where you get like a little thing each day, okay, around how to really powerfully be the co-creator of your life and really align with that highest potential and how to move through the resistances. And there's some, I think, healing meditations and stuff. So if you like that, you can drop your name, Awake and Break Free below, and I'll give you that. And then for those of you that know, it's like, oh my gosh, this is such a huge time. It's like I feel my spirit saying it is time. The time is now to really take it to the next level, and you know that you would like some support. I have 2 levels of support of a great program that I'm in process of right now, called the Intuition Activation Rock Your Ascension. And it's really twofold of a highly transformational program. We go through each chakra each week. It's 7 weeks. And you can do this as a self-study. So I've made it really reasonable to be able to get in with 2 payments of $197 or an in full price of $297. And the value of what I'm offering is actually probably double that, like in the past, for what I've given. And so each week there's like a video training, there's an extensive clearing and activation for your intuitive and psychic gifts, as well as clearing all of the muck in each layer of the chakra and the aura and the mental, physical, spiritual bodies. Super powerful. And then we work with lots of different archangels throughout this process. Each week there's like 4 things you get within each module: the video training, the clearing, a couple of new archangels and how to invoke them and work with them, as well as an intuition development tool to take your psychic gifts to the next level. And we go through each chakra in the process as well. So it's very, very powerful. This week I just released the 3rd module, which is all about the 3rd chakra, the solar plexus, being in your power, releasing the force and the push and all of that good stuff. So that's available. And then right now there's a couple spots left to get a free 30-minute aura reading, which is almost the value of the program. So that is awesome if you are needing that help. And then for the VIP option is really having 6 sessions with me, 30 minutes at a time, to really be your spiritual guide and healer, to help you move through this ascension process and truly integrate all of this stuff and awarenesses that have come through this eclipse period, so that you can set yourself up for the next 6 months or a year and really own that shift that's coming through, that your soul is guiding you to take the leap on. And so I'd love to be your support there. If this is something that feels like you could use, you can put intuition activation below and I'll share with you more information. All right, that is it for today. Happy new moon. Happy August Friday. What is it? I think it's the 10th today. Yeah. So have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will talk with you guys next week. All right, bye-bye.